America. Wait, there's no country called that. Oh, the United States of America. They don't seem that united to me. Like most of today's superpowers, it starts with the British, and we have Christopher Columbus to thank for that. He was an Italian, and he explored for Spain. Wait, he didn't discover America. He found various Caribbean islands that were already inhabited. And him and his crew were treated well by the natives, so Christopher came back with more men to kill them and take their gold. They didn't have any gold. And he wasn't the only person to think the world was round. They knew the world was round for basically 2,000 years. All Christopher did was think the world was much, much smaller than it is, and thought he could cross the ocean in a short time.
Many months later.
Hey look, some land. And also the Vikings beat him. After the British hear about this new land, they send their ships out to take the land as their own, creating 13 colonies, and some other things too. On July 4th, 1775, a war breaks out between the 13 colonies in Britain over new policies the British put over the colonies. Then after 37,000 or 82,500 soldiers died, that's a pretty big stretch. It's either 37,000 or 82,000 that died for America. At least the British knew roughly the amount they died, 75,500. That's much better. Anyway, America won with the help of the French and became its own country. America became a confederation for the first 6 years. This gave most of the power to the states and very little power to the central government. The confederation had no president and was not very good at governing itself. In 1787, a constitution was written. Many of the people who helped write the Constitution, such as Washington, James Madison, and Alexander Hamilton, they were among the major thinkers in America at the time. In 1789, Washington was elected the first president. There was a risky rebellion where farmers tried to stop the government from collecting taxes on whiskey because of the unfair taxes in certain areas of the U.S. Them there president folk be taxing on our whiskey. Yeah, and they not taxing on my other states. What's the start of rebellion? You! Not under my presidency. Shit. In 1815, there were over 3 million Africans that are now slaves in the South. Most worked on large plantations owned by only a handful of white people, and most other people did not have slaves. There were few slave rebellions against the slavery, including one led by Nat Turner, but they all failed. Hey, can you guys stop doing the whole slavery thing? No! Why you no free slaves? Okay, you win. America did not want to be involved with World War I, but Germany blown up an American ship and they sent a telegram to Mexico about telling them to invade the U.S. Then the U.S., Britain, and France later won the war a year later, and thus made the League of Nations, which the main goal is to prevent war. Probably. The Roaring Twenties is a time of wealth and prosperity. This will last forever. Oh, now everyone's unemployed. Fuck, now everything's dusty. Wait, I can see something through the dust. Maybe it's a nice, peaceful time. Well, Germany can't go 25 years without starting a world war. Oh, and America doesn't want part of this war either. But that'll last. Oh, now they're trading arms to the Allies. Wonder what happened to the no involvement thing. Well, there goes the no involvement option. Let's see what America has in its army. And what are these strange looking bombs? Why is there only 2 of them? Holy shit. After World War II, America and the Soviet Union were the 2 most powerful countries left in the world. This war was against communism and capitalism, with many wars taking place like the Korean War. How did you lose to farmers? Oh, they read this book. There's a lot more of those bomb things now, and they're much more powerful. Whoa, Russians just put the first man and satellite into orbit. Oh, and America decides to join in and create the space race, with both trying to one-up each other. Then in 1969, America launched Apollo 11 with 3 men to the moon. 2 of those men went down to walk on the moon, but one man was left to orbit the moon, also known as the loneliest man, Michael Collins. As Neil and Buzz were walking on the moon, Mike orbited to the other side of the moon, where there was no radio signal that could be picked up, and he was all.
No more. I may finally have found a place where I can be all alone.
And eventually, the Cold War warmed up as the communist government fell apart. After the September 11th attacks, America and other NATO countries invaded Iraq to find Osama bin Laden. In 2011, the American troops have mostly left then, and the conflict was over. The first African American president was elected for 2 terms in office, and there were some people trying to stop big government called the Tea Party. Okay, now that Obama's had his max terms, it's time for a new president. Who should it be? Well, they gave themselves some pretty bad choices. Okay, Clump is now president. I don't think he knows what he's doing. Ah, shit.